All right, guys. So if you guys want to support and not cancel the transaction, Cash App on the block with Jen. If not, throw it in the super chat. We're going to be here for a good time, not a long time tonight. We just want to stay in the algos with you and talk about this Jada Pinkett shit yet again. This is like I can't call it the gift that keeps on giving. It's like
It's
the
like
mold.
herpes.
Yeah, it's like the mold that just keeps growing, right? No matter what, the Clorox it, toothbrush it, just the mold that keeps on coming back. This woman is quite scandalous. So we just want to update on a couple things. I didn't get to watch the interview. Lily, I know you didn't watch it either, right? Did you catch clips? Any clips or anything?
I got clips. Um,
Okay,
you
so then you got
know,
more than me. Then you got more than me.
yeah, I
So
got some
what'd you
clips.
see?
I mean, basically, she's just letting everything out. I mean, we basically know, her gynecologist results for the last 10 years. I mean, like literally everything. It's like she cannot stop embarrassing this man, and it's just leading me to wonder, where is he, what is he thinking, what is he doing, has is like, are they on, like, is the Will Smith team on their Olivia Pope shit, like what's going on, how are they going to fix, like, what's his master plan to combat this, because she is literally tearing down their legacy brick by brick. I was thinking about that Alicia Keys song, couldn't think of the name of it. You all probably know, where she's naming all the couple goals, and she's like Will and
She
Jada,
does. She does mention them. I remember that song. I don't know the name of the song, but I remember the song, and she mentioned a couple different couples.
and it seems like that song was cursed, because I was like Bill and Camille and Will and Jada, and it was another one, and I was like, ooh, Alicia, don't be putting me in those songs, girl.
Right. Retire the damn song. So
But
oh,
basically, she's saying Pac proposed to her while
I
in
saw
prison.
that. I saw that.
I mean, it's just, like it's, oh my god, it was so many things. I'll look up a couple of things while you're talking, because it's a lot of them.
Okay, so on the tonight's subject is, should Jada and Will divorce? Should they finally divorce? The cat's out the bag. This is just, again, we're just giving our opinions because this is what's on the timeline, and this is what we do. So I did hear that she said Pac proposed to her while on Rikers Island, broke down, destitute, depressed, that he was on Rikers Island, like most men are when they hit the island, right? If you're from New York, you already know. But what a garbage, jail that is. So, I find it hilarious because she's saying that, and I know what she's doing, because we know girls like this in the hood. And I think people forget that, a lot of these chicks from the hood, they go and get rich, and then you forget that they're still hood chicks, right? So Jada is still a hood chick. She's just, she's in a different tax bracket, but I think the thinking is the same. Some people, like Haran says, they never turn that corner, right? They get money, but they don't turn that corner. You guys remember, people say about Sexy Red when her sex tape leaked in her own stories on her own Instagram account. That, now that she's successful, she needs to leave those guys alone that would leak her sex tape, and the guys that wear the ankle monitors and stuff like that. And I said, well, what the fuck makes you think she's not equally yoked to those men? I said, that's the problem with a lot of you people. You see money, you see this dusty broad on a red carpet holding a dusty wad of cash everywhere she goes, and you think for some reason now she should have, standards, right? No, that's just someone that now is part of, that god awful machine called the industry. But for some reason, you guys see her on a red carpet and think, oh my gosh, she has standards now. No, she's the same Sexy Red from a couple months back that would leak her own sex tape and would, date a guy with a ankle monitor. And that's not to say everyone that's been, my daddy went to prison. That's not to say that everybody who's been a prisoner has an ankle monitor is some sort of, scum of the earth. However, according to y'all, she shouldn't be dating not me, but according to y'all, she shouldn't be dating someone with an ankle monitor or a guy that would do her dirty, right? And then we see her during interviews, and she's saying that she thought it was very romantic when Valentine's Day, this guy robbed someone else and gave her the money. That is who Sexy Red is. I don't know why you guys get deaf, dumb, and blind when you start seeing these ratchets on red carpets. It's the same shit. You just dressed it up. What do you think, Louis, about the
Oh,
Tupac proposing behind bars?
oh, well, I got a better one than Tupac proposal behind bars. She
Okay.
also revealed, because this has been a Jada reveals week, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and leak into the future. I'm going to put on my Miss Cleo, and I'm just like, oh, Jada reveals that she's AI in 2059. It's ridiculous. But my favorite is Jada reveals that Tupac also suffered from alopecia, but he just kept it a secret.
I saw that. I saw that as well. According to her, after the cops beat his ass, he started losing his hair. That is what she said. Now, you know, she's a strange one, that woman. And that's why I said the other day, she's one of the paths. I don't know if it's psychopath or sociopath, but she's one of the paths for sure. For sure.
Right. The
The
path
fact
train at this point.
Right, like, she's proven herself to be a really down low, dirty hood chick. I expect down low, dirty hood chicks to move like this, right?
Right.
Them girls are grimy for life. They will use you, your mama, whoever is in their path to get what they want, right? And that is what, even though Jada has built a persona on being holier than thou and deeper than now, and you know what I mean, she's trying to be this profound speaker, right? She attempted it with the red table talk, but then that turned into a fuck pie, because again, she's just some hood chick that is able to spend a lot of money. But even that red table talk turned into a fuckery.
Yeah.
Just fuckery. If you
It
notice a
was
lot, did you notice how ridiculous it got after a while? And she had Snoop Dogg on there apologizing. And then after the entanglement came out, Snoop Dogg went at her. It just turned into a red ghetto table. Her mother's acting like she's never done anything wrong in her life. It's just a weird. Just they're just weird in general.
no, it was pseudo deep, right? She was doing this whole pseudo deep thing, right? It was some bullshit. And what made me start really I was side eyeing it from the beginning, but I was like, okay, girl, I'm gonna let you live, right? But
Hmm.
then I had to say something after I noticed like she didn't have any formal like schedule or anything. Like it wasn't once a week, once a month, Yom Kippur. It wasn't anything like that. It was like, oh, black man does something stupid. Let me bring him onto the red table. It started to become that if you didn't notice. Like
So do you think she was targeting black men on the red table? Because I stopped watching.
she was either targeting black men or sensational stories, and she would bring them on to do some type of, I guess, pseudo therapy session.
Right, because she's not
You
a
know,
therapist, she's not qualified.
right?
She was doing the Yanla sister girl, "I know better than you."
But at least Ilana went to somebody's school. I don't know
Yeah,
whose
yeah.
school, of Witch Doctors of America, but I
Mhm.
do know that Jada ain't go to nobody's school for
Right.
nobody's therapy. I mean, she needs to find somebody's therapist because she
Mhm.
found us instead. And I don't know who told her to put us in the group chat, but she insists on keeping us in there and just bump. But she's that person. I'm like, bitch, I'm about to block you.
Right, right, like, but it's funny because 'cause I've blocked a couple of celebrities.
Oh,
That's
me too.
hilarious that you said that because I don't wanna see them on the timeline, I don't wanna hear about them. Block celebrities, y'all need to start, but instead of sucking celebrities, block celebrities, free yourself. So going back to her, saying that Tupac asked to marry her in prison, the reason why I think that she's very, very trifling is I hate anybody, not just Jada, but I loathe people talking about what dead people would have thought and said, or whatever. Listen, I don't even like the Quintanillas pushing Selena as if she's still alive. I don't like it because here's why. I understand gone too soon, young life. She was about to cross over and be, you know what I mean, the biggest thing ever. However, we don't know if 3 years after she would have been like, I don't want to do this anymore. We don't know if
Exactly.
5 years after, you know what I mean, I don't want to do this anymore. And I think a part of respecting the dead is respecting that they're no longer here to speak for themselves. So when this little wretched thing is saying Tupac had alopecia, he asked to marry me. Who the fuck? What makes you think that you can speak for a dead man who never claimed you? And that's what bothers me the most. Is she keeps talking it. She does the same thing that Little Kim does with Biggie. These men are not here to speak for themselves anymore. However, both of those men did not claim either of you weirdos. They never said, this is my woman, this is my wife. Now, Tupac said, we're going to be friends. Did you see the video where he stressed the friends? He didn't have to say it that way. He could have been like, "We're gonna be friends forever." He was like, "No, we're friends. We're
Oh,
gonna be friends forever." He put like three F's before that. So I do believe that he did cherish her
right.
as a friend. This candle that she keeps lit for him, like, "Oh, we were soulmates." And then the one of the ladies that was interviewing her, not Hoda, but someone else was like, "Why didn't you guys get together? There was so much chemistry in that karaoke video," which was bullshit. It was two kids playing around on, but according to the interviewer, "Why didn't you guys get together? There's so much chemistry." Oh, we were, Jada was like, "Oh, we was just friends." But so why do you keep talking about a dead man? That really perturbs me. Stop speaking for dead people. Haran, what say you? According to Jada, Tupac got down on one dirty little, knee on Rikers and said, "Will you marry me?"
Tupac could have said anything at that point in time. He's probably just looking for a way out. You know what I mean? He was just, come on. I mean, you're at the most vulnerable spot in your life. Maybe he did say it, but can you base it on that? Because if he was really thinking like that, he would have said it before he went into jail. So, like I said, it's the most vulnerable point in someone's life. A nigga can say anything. I've seen motherfuckers say anything, you know what I mean, while locked down. So I'm not going to count that. However, overall, I've been watching the social media streets, and it's really divided because there's this sect of black women that are lambasting her, but there's this sect of black women that wants her to keep going. And a lot of them are very misandrist. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's sisters out there who are like, yeah, keep going, speak your truth, and she should be allowed to speak her truth. And people are trying to down her and blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, there's people who really can't wait to see a black man torn to pieces. I mean, look, man, no one's saying Will is a saint.
Mhm.
He did some fuck shit just like every other dude did some fuck shit. But this is, I mean, unless there's like some major skeletons going on, this is Will Smith. I would assume that this is an Ike Turner. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not an Ike Turner situation. And the direction she's going in, it's not. It's not merited. You're pulling Tupac into this. You're pulling Chris Rock into this. You know what I mean? You're just all over the place. And, it just seems that people love people when they speak their truth until their truth involves them. Mind you, when it's time for people to spill their guts about, you see it on social media in local situations. Anytime the family member spills their guts and spills their truth about families and so on, here come other family members talking about you shouldn't, divulge family secrets, and you shouldn't be putting families' business out there on the street and so on. Well, these celebrities shouldn't be doing that either. I just really want to go back to a time where everybody just shut the fuck up, man. I just really don't really need to
Please.
know about all this, man. I just really
Let your
don't.
But then,
PR. Let your
but then
PR speak
how?
for you.
But then how would they get attention, right?
And that's the other
And
half of it. Like,
mhm.
Jada's never been talented. She's never been.
You don't think she was a
You know,
talented actress?
no, I think she was an actress.
Okay.
She was
I
What
think
definitely,
she
what
was
yeah,
an
an
about
actress.
actress.
what about her music? You're not into it?
Oh yeah, I forgot she did that. The
It was
band
like
was good.
EDM
Oh,
or
the band was good. The music was fucking
okay.
terrible. The band was amazing. Yeah, Wicked
It
Wisdom.
was
Yes, it was a metal band. It was a metal band. The
it
Hmm.
was the
band
most awful shit
was amazing.
I've
Yeah, I
But
couldn't.
the music was absolutely fucking terrible. You know what I mean? I mean, Will Smith is the most talented, musically talented one out of that whole family, which says something very weird. But you know what I mean? The point I'm making here is that ironically, Jada is lambasting the only man, the only person who we can all agree is the only reason why she still has a career now. Anybody was
that
fucking with
it
her after the night. That.
mm,
Very true. Like with her, well, not just with her. I'm noticing like a lot of these celebrities are not faring well in this new paradigm shift, right? Because they're up against the TikTok stars, and how the TikTok stars and the social media stars make it or continue their career is by doing dumb shit and becoming sensational and viral. So to see celebrities who've gone through media training and all of those things stoop down to do this to the same level to do the same things to get some type of notoriety is just really interesting to watch, actually.
Hey,
Hey, Georgia.
Andrea. Welcome to the
Georgia's house.
vlog.
Can you see me?
George's house. Hi. Yeah, we can see you.
How you guys doing today?
Are you hanging out with
Good.
George?
Okay, so I just had a conversation about with my friends about Will and Jada, and I felt like, okay, I watched the interview, and I was like, okay, so if you and Will was separated for 7 years, why did he hit Chris Rock then? I thought that was like, if y'all ain't, and then she said in the interview, what made me shocking when she said he ain't called me his wife in several years. And so I just felt like, okay, I feel like what happened to Chris was wrong.
Right. Some people may argue
Mhm.
that's still the mother of his children. Some people may argue that. But I agree with you. I think
Mhm.
if they were separated and living separate lives, him
Right.
saying keep my wife's name out your mouth just goes to show how far the charade, like Haran says, went. How phony not only she is, but he is. And
Yes.
I know people like they try to defend him. I
Mhm.
think those two are two peas in a pod.
Right.
I think they're more alike than people want to admit. I saw him when she was opening her book at her home with her mother and her kids there. Her son was in a bubble coat zipped up to here. I think in his mind it was snowing. He's in the house with a bubble coat zipped up to here. You know, the Smith kids got to be weird or,
Well,
you know,
well,
they don't.
no, that's the thing now. I posted about that. This summer it was like 190 degrees, and every kid I saw on the street had a huge, thick sweatsuit and hoodie on.
Oh,
Every
that's
one of them.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, so you know, Will was there. Now I will say Will looks off. You know what
Yes.
I mean? He look even when she was opening her book, he looks like he's really trying without a lie, not with oh, now I see you know, some people say that just because there's toxicity going on. So it's easy to say, "Oh, he looked depressed." No, he looks off. He doesn't
Mhm.
look his
To
usual.
me, he looked off after the Oscars. He looked off. Me personally, I think he going through something too. you know, I think he going through something, and I feel like the kids are going through something too. Personally, I told my friends the only child I think normal is the older son.
Mhm.
Me,
Right. And he's hardly around. That's
he's
how I know.
hardly around. You know,
Oh,
So
and if and back what you were saying, Jen, if like you were saying, or people will argue because that's still the mother of his children. Well, the same argument is like that's still the father of her children and all of this. So I'm wondering, like, what are they thinking in this situation? Just this is
right,
a
like
mess.
if he's protecting her, though they're not officially married, then she should be protecting him. And when they did that little book opening, when she got her book delivered, you know, I guess these are the first prints. They sent them to her house, of course, and then she opened the box, like, oh, the reveal. And the mother happened to be there, and the kids and Will was kind of like playing the back, you know what I mean? Kind of like, oh, that's great, congratulations, so proud of you, blah blah, going through the he looks like he's on autopilot now. We know what that looks like when someone's on autopilot and you're just doing and saying you're part of the family and you're joining stuff, but in your head, you're not really there. You're not really present.
but
But you know, I question. Go ahead.
can't you still be family even though you're divorced?
Absolutely.
I'm divorced, and me and my ex husband got a
Technically, you
cool
are.
relationship. We're still family. We have a cool relationship. We have 2 kids. We are still family, even though we're divorced. So I'm thinking, to me, it's a charade. Your mom, your kids, everybody lying for y'all. So where's who? To me, I think the lines are blurred. They don't know when the truth is. That's what to me. That's me.
Well, family just means relation. So
Right.
yeah, you don't need to be married to be related to someone in some degree. You know what I mean? There's some sort of convergence. You know what I mean? They have biological children together, so it'll always be family.
Right.
But you know, I think at some point in time, Jada, or maybe Jada just can't wrap her mind around the concept of that by hurting the brand, she's hurting herself. I think in Jada's mind, she thinks she's bigger than the Will Smith brand. And sweetie, if the Will
Mm.
Smith brand goes down, you go down with it.
Yes.
Ain't
Right.
nobody really checking for you
I
if Will
I
is
think
not
she's
a point of conversation.
what's funny is that I think again, you know, the word narcissist is thrown around a lot, but there are real narcissists. It's like, if you break up with somebody and they're an asshole, people, you're a narcissist. That's not how narcissism works. It's literally a personality disorder. It's
Right.
literally, and I think that she is textbook personality disorder. And what happens with narcs, with people that suffer from NPD, they don't know what the limit is. They never know. Long as they're getting attention, they don't know that they're cutting their nose off to spite their face. They don't know that they're destroying themselves, like they're digging a hole deeper and they're like, look how dope this hole is. And they don't realize that they're sinking in the hole as they're digging it. They think they're hurting everybody else because they're throwing the dirt on other people. But beneath their feet, they're sinking, right? But they think they're winning because they're throwing the dirt on other people. And that's what I see her doing. I think she's despicable to continue using Tupac. I think that's despicable. I think
Yes.
she's real slick. His mother is no longer here to defend him.
Mm.
I also don't like what she said when he was in prison. She was like, oh, he had nobody. He was broke down and depressed, and he asked me to marry him. Like, so he had nobody. So forget Afeni. Now his mother doesn't count, right? Because his mother was still alive. All right. And her and Tupac were very close. So I'm like, so now Afeni doesn't count. No one else counts in his life but you, Jada. And that's why he asked to marry you. And I'm like, again, a narc doesn't know what's good for clout and what isn't, long as there's attention attached to it. So when she says something as stupid as, he asked to marry me, honey, in prison, we've all been to jail visits. We know the women that show up, do we not?
Right.
I mean,
Right?
and
Men
another thing
are
with Pac,
desperate in that situation.
But don't y'all think
another thing
don't
with
y'all think she have hurt Will? She have hurt Will in a sense as a man. She have hurt, like, she emasculated. She have hurt Will. I personally feel like that. I feel like he needs to divorce her. That's just me. But to me, we don't. It looks. I feel bad for him in a sense, because when is you gonna put your foot down and say enough is enough?
I don't feel bad for him. People,
So I used to feel bad for him.
yeah, me too. That's done. That's been done and gone for me.
Because I
I
feel like now he went from what I thought was a victim, like, oh, poor Will, to
Willing participant.
willing participant. Not only that, if you have the cojones to jump up on an Oscar stage, a global show, all right, it is watched around the world. If you have the cojones to walk up on stage, slap your peer. Okay, Chris Rock is DC Young Fly. No offense to DC Young Fly. Chris Rock is royalty. He is comedy royalty, whether you like him or not.
Right.
He is comedy royalty. Right. And you have the audacity to get on that stage, put your hands on that man, and walk back like you are untouchable, and then double down at your seat, not even catch yourself like, I just hit a peer. And a freaking comedic icon. Sit there and double down and curse as if you're not in the room. I think they're both arrogant. And I think now they suffer from codependency. And I think they're both narcissists. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I in terms of Tupac, being in a bad state, I don't know. Of course, I don't know the depth of that. However, I knew some official dudes who made sure that Pac was all right. So to sit here and say that he had nobody is a fucking lie. There was some official cats who made sure that Pac was good, that he wasn't, he wasn't, no hands was really going to be touched on him. That's number one. Number two, to me, this seemed like a great opportunity for us to know who the fuck this woman is. Like, I don't know who she is. Like, I don't know how she grew up. I don't know anything about her dad. I don't know anything about her mom, so on and so forth. So for it to be so hateful of Will, she needs this story to sell books. You can't even sell books on your own story, on who you are, on your own triumphs, on your own ability to overcome obstacles. If you're really that chick, then just tell your story. No, you need this situation. You love this situation, because without this, you can't sell books. Without Will, you can't be in movies. Without Will, you can't be doing. You're not going to be doing a lot of things without Will. So how hateful of you of this man? See, people love
right.
to,
You know what?
See these things. People love, and I've seen it. Men and women have done this. People love to paint this picture as if they're so hateful of their partner, but deep down they know that damn well they'd be nothing without that person. There'd be
Right.
absolutely nothing without that person. And we don't talk about that enough, men and women. Anyway, go ahead.
But you know, this is giving me, Jim, when you said they're both narcissists, I'm like, yeah, but then it hit me. I'm like, okay, I think that's part of this, right? And what
Mhm.
I mean is, she may know he's a narcissist, but not know that she's one, like not recognize that she's one, right? And so she knows that to Will, right? The biggest thing that means the most to him is what? That damn image, right? More than even like the marriage, but that image, because he has gone out of his way to create this Smith brand, right? And I feel like her resentment is that deep with him that she is cutting off her nose to spite her face, but she feels like the worst way or the best way to get to him to really make him feel it is to destroy his image. I think that's what it is because she recognizes that he's a narcissist. She just doesn't know that she's a narcissist, you know.
I mean, if you look at the comments and they're still going, remember I read a couple of them the other day. They were quite colorful. They're still going. He is being lambasted. He's being dragged. He is
Yeah.
being, I mean, the comments, and I'm just going to go through a couple of new ones today that I just see. It says, your woman is embarrassing you nonstop, and you're out here making content. You threw your entire reputation away defending a woman who has no interest in being with you at all. Someone else says, at this point, she needs to keep your name out of her mouth. What are you doing? Someone else says, she's out there embarrassing you again. Will, what's up? Someone else said, why do you let your girl keep embarrassing you in front of the world like this? You are too good for this, man. Bro, whatever she got on you, I promise it can't be that bad. We're going to love you regardless. We just want to see you genuinely happy. She is talking shit after all the sacrifices you made for it. So again, people are looking at this like Will is a victim. And I still say he's a willing participant. He has the power, the clout, the attorneys, the money to tell her goodbye. If she thinks that he's such an asshole, she could have also walked away. Do you see the codependency? Not
Right.
neither of them are leaving.
Hmm.
And they're not even together. So how sick are you? Because it's one thing if you're like, nope, that's my baby, and we're gonna rock out, and we're gonna rock out, and we're gonna beat together. But you're not even together, so it makes even less sense, and y'all look more crazy.
And
Oh,
Y'all look even more crazy.
I
and to
want
say,
to
and to
I
say
want to
that
try to. Okay,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To say that she had an entanglement, and I'm thinking y'all wasn't even together, so why would you say that? And for him to come on her red table talk, to me, I just got a problem. The mama know it, the kids know it, all y'all know it, but y'all are trying to protect this brand because it keep financing all y'all.
Right. So I was going to say it was something that we all forgot, and I want to kind of try to play devil's advocate, even though I don't want to for this heifer. But we kind of forgot that Will spilled the tea some years prior before the August Alsina thing, right? He put it out there that pretty much they were doing, I think it was Entertainment Tonight. They were doing their separate thing, and he was kind of pretty much explaining everything without explaining it. And I remember it went viral, but nothing like this. So, do we feel like people are being too hard on Jada versus Will? Because that was a question that I saw posed earlier today. I say no because the way she's doing it is just, I mean, just tacky, trifling, uncouth, narcissistic, sociopathic, and I have a few more
Yeah,
adjectives,
I
but
don't I don't have a problem with people that are evil, and then that's just how they are. They're evil all around. I loathe the personality disorder of narcissism because they use people as resources. And right now, she's using Chris Rock, Will Smith, and maybe rightfully so Will Smith, and a dead Tupac,
Right.
right? As a resource to sell that book. She can't sell it on her own merit. She knows she's not interesting as Jada Pinkett, who was in Set It Off all on her. She knows that. And she
Right.
knows people like scandal. So she's going to use people. Another thing that narcissists do, not that this is a narcissist show tonight, but another thing narcissists do is they loathe when they see in someone else what they want to be, but they can't be, right? So Will Smith is this huge, big blockbuster star, and she gets to watch that day in and day out. She gets to see other people love on him. She gets to see him make billions of dollars. She gets to see women want him. That bothers the narcissist. It's like, hey, what about me? I got you. They turn into Fredo. I got good ideas too, man. What about me? And you live in the house. So what they do is little by little, it's a slow drip. It's never a fountain. It's a slow drip. They start trying to tear down everything that makes you amazing, right? And you're in a relationship with them. So it's a tiny little drip and you don't even notice. And the way they're talking about this man, like he's a bitch on a stick. He's no longer the big blockbuster heartthrob Will Smith, you know what I mean, that we love. Like literally in the span of a couple of years, she has dismantled everything that he built.
This is equivalent, and I'm sure women go through this too. This is the equivalent to when I tell a number of men, stay away from men who are unlucky with women or unlucky in love. If you are successful in love, if you are successful with women, reason being is that when the guy like that is around you, he'll feel smaller. He'll fuck around want to sabotage your life. I'm sure women go through it too, where they're loved, they're the it girl wherever they go, and the other girl, their other friend or so-called best friend, may not be. After a while, that woman might try to sabotage your life. You have to be very mindful of being in relationships. It's a bitch when you're in a relationship with a person who's jealous of your success, with a person, you know what I mean, who wishes they had what you had and they're not actually happy for you. This is supposed to be your mate. Now, one of my biggest issues with her coming out and doing all this stuff is that she's pulling in other people's names, man.
That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me the most.
Yes.
That's like me chilling and I'm sitting down at McDonald's with my daughter, you know what I mean, sipping a milkshake. And motherfuckers be like, Haran, she said that you said she had a nice ass at the Oscars. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I just complimented her. Like, what's happening? Like, you know what I mean? And now I'm in the middle of some shit. My daughter's here. My family is in the goddamn chat. And now I'm looking fucked up. Over maybe a comment that I probably remember I made 2 or 3 fucking years ago.
Shout out to Babito Ross. What's up, family? Butterbeacon Regan. You know I'm repping. You know I gotta rep. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Salute.
The thing is, she got it. The thing I do think is sad that she's using Chris Rock. I do. When I heard the interview, she said Chris Rock asked her on a date when she thought they was getting divorced. Why you bringing that up? I'm confused. Like, what that got to do with this book you're selling? It's just wrong. And you know what? Chris went through something. Forget that he even said he was bullied as a child. So like his kids had to see him get slapped on national TV. I'm pretty sure that didn't help either. And it's like you're bringing his name up. Tupac is gone, baby. He's gone. And if you really love Tupac, why you married Will to mess up his life? I'm just saying, if that what you wanted, you should have been pursuing him. But he ain't here no more.
And
that something came up that reminded me that they did a Red Table Talk.
Mm-hmm.
When she was talking about how she didn't want to get married, that she cried her whole way down the aisle, and Will was sitting right there. Some of them, yep. I'm like,
and to me, Will should have stayed with his first wife. Did he should have?
She didn't want him. She didn't want him. No, she said, their story was. I still think that, and here's the thing. Free game to the fellas. A woman could not, and women do this often. And when I say often, it's almost it's second nature to a woman. A woman, right, will not like anything about you. However, if you present resources, she's going to pretend.
Right.
Okay, she's going to pretend. And we know the Smith story. Why? Because they told us. We're not guessing. They told us. Will Smith was married to that beautiful Cherie, whatever the hell. She couldn't take it anymore, their relationship. And she told him she wanted a divorce. And he kept saying he's not going to get a divorce because he comes from a broken family and he refuses to get divorced. And the words were exactly verbatim. This isn't paraphrasing. She said she told Will, and Will was there. He agreed on the red table. Cherie told him, why would you want to hold on to a woman that does not love you anymore? And Will said that's when it hit him like, holy fuck, why would I hold on to a woman that doesn't love me anymore? And then he spun the block back to Jada. And really quickly, I landed here. On his way to take Jada for a date, his words, not mine. These aren't rumors. You can look this up yourself. He went to go pick Jada up for a date. He saw Cherie and said, fuck Jada. That's me paraphrasing. Took Cherie out, fell in love with Cherie, love at first sight. They got married. They went and had a kid. But he was on his way to take Jada out when he saw that woman and said, who is that? Being Will Smith, he has options. He doesn't have to go see Jada if this other beautiful woman is there and he wants her. Now, when they got divorced, Will Smith spun the block and went back and got Jada. And I'm thinking, if they told the public that information, Jada knew, and she was probably like, oh, okay, I got this motherfucker now. Watch this, hold my beer.
That's how he fucked up, because let me tell you something. As a man, brothers,
Big
let
time.
me tell you something. If you're going to spin the block on the rebound chick, don't wife her. Don't have a kid with her.
But don't
Because
say anything either.
He had kept his mouth shut.
Let me tell you something, because if you go into the situation and this woman secretly, and women can hide some things. Women can hide some shit. If you go into a situation secretly, and this woman secretly resents you.
Haran is traumatized.
I know. You know why, right?
She's playing the role and shit like that. They're gonna wait to show their ass after you marry them or after you have a kid, especially if you have a fucking kid with them, man. Right. Because once you tied up with them with a kid or some papers, they got you. Now they got you, because now it's gonna be harder to get rid of them, man. So if you're gonna spin the block on a broad, just spin it, tussle around it with it a little bit, and just be about your fucking business, man. And another thing too, men need to understand that just because a woman loves you doesn't mean she respects you.
Exactly.
And men, a lot of times, they confuse love with respect. That's why I'm bigger on respect than I am on love. Because a woman could love you, she could want the best for you. She could just not really think highly of you. Mm-hmm. She could just not respect you.
And remember when Jada told the story of how he pursued her, she said that she had bought a house, I don't know where, in Ohio or something. She had some chips, so she bought a farm. She always wanted a farm, remember? She said she always wanted a farm, bought herself a little farm, whatever, was chilling. And Will Smith called her on the phone after he got divorced from his wife. I'm sure still hurting from his wife, okay? Called her on the phone and asked her plainly, who are you seeing? He did that G shit. He said, who are you seeing right now? Who are you dating? And she was like, I'm not dating anybody. I'm not seeing anybody. And he said, well, you're seeing me now. Mm-hmm. And he told her, get all your shit and move out here with me. And she was like, what are you kidding? I just bought this farm and everything. And she said she left all her shit and went into his house. And she was mad because that is the house that he lived in with his ex-wife, Cherie. They all said this. This is not speculation. This was the red table talk. These people vomited their entire lives. And he moved her into the house. And Jada was like, I'm not living in that house. I'm not living in that house because you live there with your wife. And Will was like, no, you're going to live here because this is where I live and this is where we're going to live. And so
didn't he
from the beginning.
But didn't he eventually buy a family home? And then she was like, one day, like, she was like, I didn't want this. This is what you wanted. Like, yes. He thought he had did something. He was like, okay, we doing it. Like, I got a hit movie. The kids got their hits and stuff like that. The whole family's doing their thing. We got this big old house, and she's like, I don't like none of it.
But again, that is what a narcissist does. They always have to keep you. They have to keep you on edge, right? Because it fucks with your head.
He can't please her. He can't do anything right in her eyes.
Right. So then you constantly pine to him.
That house with you and your ex, that house you and your ex-wife, I buy you a bigger house, and that house, this is the house we're gonna live in. You still mad, so you can't please her.
Right. And
And
they do
also,
that on
men,
purpose. They do that on purpose so you could constantly be chasing this, I got to please you. I got to please you. What else can I do? She also said that about a huge birthday party he threw for her where he flew in acts and, musical acts and her family or whatever. And she ran upstairs crying. Cause again, she was like, I didn't want this. I didn't want a party. And the dude spent like hundreds of thousands. And they laughed about it. But can you imagine doing all of that and the person just, it's a fucking, how narcissistic are you? How jaded are you that you can't just go through the party after someone went through all that
Trouble.
trouble?
It's the thought. It was a
It's a
thought.
again, man,
thought.
again, I look at him crazy because again, he should have just spun the block, had some fun, and kept it pushing. Look, listen, I say this, I'll tell y'all the story. Okay. And this is why men also have to be honest with the sins that they've made, that they've done. They have to be honest with them. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Okay, so I lost my chick. This is back in the days. I lost my girl. She went out with another dude, blah, blah, blah. I know she went out with the dude. And I was like, but did I want her back? Not really. My ego just wanted her around. I wasn't done with her. It's like, I'm not done with her.
Let's
This
hear the
isn't over.
asshole shit you did. Let's hear the asshole shit you did. Hold on.
Horrible person.
Mm-hmm. Let's
I'm
hear it.
judging already.
I knew where
What
she
you've
was going to
done.
have the dinner at. I knew where she was going to have the dinner at. And I went to the restaurant. And right in the middle of them talking, I told her, let's go. I told her, let's go. Let's go. And she was like, I'm in. Let's go.
And
we
she
left
got
I
up
paid
and
for the
went?
dinner. Yeah, she left. She left with me and I paid for the dinner. I told them, yo, don't worry about it. It happens. Show you a nice guy. I left with her. And a couple of months later, though, she reminded me, the resentment came because of what I did, in the past. They never forgive anything, fellas. They never fucking forgive. You want them to, you hope, but they never fucking forgive. And the shit just went left. And after a while, I was like, all right, yeah, let's just hit the eject button on this. We need to leave this alone. But yeah, my ego just couldn't bring
and
myself.
that could have been her soulmate, a man that was gonna care about her and care for
I
her.
really didn't give a fuck at the time because I wasn't done. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't done.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this was a time when I was in the industry. I was doing shit. I was doing me. I'm like, man, leave me. Don't leave me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like Denzel at that scene. It was like, y'all motherfuckers do this shit to me. You know what I'm saying? So, it was at that time. But in hindsight, I was like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. I really shouldn't have did that.
You think?
Well, Jen, thank you for letting me come back for a minute. Okay? I'm going to
Definitely, Andrea, please come back. It was great to see you.
You guys take care, okay?
You too, love.
Okay, good night. So before we get out of here, what do you think? Should Jada and the alopecia thing, I swear she needs to get punched in her throat.
Right.
What if Tupac didn't want first of all, I don't believe it. Let's start there. I don't believe it. Second, if it is true, right? And we don't know because again, Tupac is dead. Been dead for a very long time. But even if it is true, what the fuck makes her think that he wants people to know he had alopecia? If he did. I don't believe it, but if he did. Oh, after he got beat up by the cops, he started losing his hair. What are you doing, lady?
Listen, man, we still struggling to come to terms with he wasn't really even a real gangster. Like, we don't really need to know this nigga was losing his hair at 23. Come on, like, let's keep something. Let's keep something from this.
I think that's another... No, listen, I think that's another very silly thing about her, that she talks about this Tupac, this unrequited love or whatever it is she claims they had, because she's like, we had this chemistry and it was forever. Right. And then they were like, why didn't you get together? Oh, it was just as friends. And then she
does
gets
this
the ball.
mystic abracadabra with their relationship, right? She's never getting clear.
Right, because it's a constant manipulation. And I'm telling you, this is textbook narcissism. It's a constant manipulation to keep you wanting and pining for an answer or clarity, and they never give it. If you notice, she never, ever fucking gives clarity. She's like a politician. She talks around things, right? I'm telling you, textbook narcissism. But people forget that Tupac was a child in man years.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
People
Yep.
talk about Tupac like he died at 35 or 40, 45. He was in his early 20s. He was a
No shit.
baby in man years. And he was famous. He had money. The last thing on that man's mind, I'm sure he was cutting them down. He was dating, what's her name? Was it Kadada Jones? Was it
Oh,
Kadada Jones?
come to find out, he was with everybody. So
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
busy. He was busy.
He was
Yeah, he got her.
Madonna,
And anyone who put it in Madonna would put it anywhere.
Especially back then, because Madonna was, and look, right, and that was the height of
she loved
the
black
package.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So
But
yeah,
that didn't. But with any story that gains a lot of press, to me, what's more interesting is the minions, the people reacting to it. That's actually a lot more interesting than these weirdos, these celebrity psychopaths. It's a lot more interesting to see people take sides, and why? Because you know that people are taking sides according to what they feel happened or didn't happen in their life into them. Like some people are defending her, even though she looks like a fucking psychopath, sounds like a no, yeah, get them men.
yep. That's what I'm hearing when they take up. That's exactly what I'm hearing. Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
They
is
just
there
are
any
mad.
way? Are y'all ever neutral on anything?
Because
no.
I'm so at this, like, because I'm very, 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 very clear that this is coming from deep resentment, right? So yeah, Will is no angel. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like this, like Will didn't do anything, and she's just like, no, she's just moving real fucked up, right? So since we don't know his tea, this is really making her look really bad. But don't get it twisted. It's some skeletons up in that closet.
Yeah, she even
Absolutely.
addressed she addressed that they're not gay. She addressed because I saw little captions, but I didn't click, because honestly, believe it or not, I'm getting sick of them. I'm getting sick of her. I'm tired of seeing her face. I'm tired of her. I'm tired of her neck. Tired of them. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I don't like her. It's like Interview with the Vampire. Like, your very presence irritates me. I just don't like looking at her. Don't like looking at her.
You watched the show?
No.
You have not watched the show?
What show?
They're on Interview with a Vampire.
The Interview with a Vampire.
They're on their second season. They're about to film the second season.
They can't do anything original anymore.
Oh no, I'm talking about the movie. There's
I
a
know,
show?
but I'm asking you. I'm asking if you've seen the show. Yes, there's a
Oh
show.
no, I didn't know. No, I had no idea. Who's
Absolutely
starring in
incredible.
that?
We'll talk about it. We will talk
Okay.
about it behind the scenes. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, I look at it differently now. I used to feel bad for him. Now I don't. He's a very egotistical, very powerful man. Again, you jump on an
That's where
Oscar
you got.
stage. Yeah.
That's how you
jump
get
up
to
on
that level. I mean, come on.
Right.
You have to have a huge ego to be that powerful.
And remember how poorly he even though Janet Hubert is now sucking him, but remember how poorly he treated her and got rid of her ass like that because she had, a little attitude. So Will has it in him to tell a bitch go fuck herself. Let's not act like he doesn't.
Does. He absolutely. Look, listen, I say these things with a grain of salt after sharing one of my stories. I can say that, okay, I'm playing devil's advocate. I can see how a woman would feel just angst towards a person. You know what I mean? But at some point in time, Will is going to have to cut ties. And as I said before, he is going to have to get on some future shit. This nigga is going to have to go get him a Ferrari. That's like I said, get on some Black Bruce Wayne shit. He's got new broads every other week. He has to go back to being that nigga, not that dude.
Like,
but
how
he gotta
can
go back to being that nigga.
Right, Orlando? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to rewind that. I was like, what the fuck? I was like this when you were talking. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, is this a prank? Are you joking? I was like, what are you talking? What the fuck is happening
I
right
tend to
now? I
do
told
that
her like,
sometimes, Orlando.
and then he was so excited about it that I was like, what happened? What show? What's happening?
It's an amazing show.
He knew
Okay,
not to ask me because
okay. So you know, I I look at the comments. He knows what's happening. He knows what people are saying to him, right? He knows the jokes that are being made. I'm looking forward to Chris Rock doing it again because doesn't
Yep,
he owe Netflix another show or
yep.
he's done?
That's what I was thinking too. I said, so Chris is just waiting.
Yeah,
She just
I
gave
can't.
him content for his next show. So thank you, Jada.
Absolutely, it's like a content orgy, really. Like people just give each other content back and forth.
Absolutely.
That's what we're looking at
Absolutely.
now. But I'm looking forward to what Chris has to say because I'm sure he'll make it funny about him asking her out. That's another thing. Jada tries to make like she tries to really position herself. I know it's like she's that hot bitch. Like Will wants her, Tupac wanted her, Chris Rock wanted her. Everybody again. NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. No one exists but them. No one is hot but them. They're the most endearing, captivating, charming person in the room. And no matter who they talk, I know people like this, right? So, but what she's using to do it sounds stupid because even that, let's say Chris Rock did call her up. She said it was amidst the rumors that they were getting divorced or they were separating. Then Chris Rock called her and was like, oh, hey, I'd like to take you out on a date because I heard you. And she was like, no, those are just rumors. It's fucking Hollywood. I bet when he hung up with her, he got on the phone with Rosario Dawson. And when he
Right,
hung up with her, he got on the phone with Nia Long. Hey, Nia, you still dating? You still married? You
right.
still.
It's not
It's
tea.
fucking Hollywood. It's not tea. It's not like, oh, see, Chris
She's
wanted
just
you. She's trying
acting.
to spin, right? She's trying to spin the narrative. And then she's constantly, if you notice, Jada is everyone's victim, everyone. So I did see a clip where she was talking about Chris Rock and she was like, he hurt me. I was hurt a lot by Chris. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? This man has no connection to you. He's a comedian. If you were hurt by a comedian that has no connection to you, get therapy. But you're not going to get therapy because you'll never admit you're a fucking narcissist because they never, ever do, very rarely, a needle in a haystack. Like there's this guy on Instagram, I'm a narcissist and I suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. That's what he says, right? But she will never admit it. She will never. Oh, I was hurt, and I was, even when she was opening her book, she was telling her family, "Oh, thank you for being patient with me. I know I checked out for a while." Bitch, these kids are in their 20s now.
Right.
You don't have a husband. That's not even a real husband, so he's not checking for you. Your mother is
She getting
right.
her
It's
back
probably
blown out down in the
she's getting her.
basement.
Thank you. So it's funny that she made herself sound like, oh, she was like, thank you for putting up with me. I know I checked out for a while. Checked out from who? Them fucking kids are floating somewhere. Your daughter and your son are floating somewhere. I know I checked. Yeah, because you're sitting there, I'm sure, baking eggs in the morning. I mean, cooking and baking pies in the morning. You checked out. They must have been like, oh, where's mom? She's writing her book. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? I'm just like she's sickening. She's sickening.
Them
Um,
kids have checked out. You got the one. You got Jaden. He over there missing. He over there skipping leg day. You got the kid. You know what I mean. You got the daughter. Every minute you see her, she's some motherfucking Tracy Chapman. She a rich Tracy Chapman just singing her problems into a microphone. These kids are bleeding, man. These
Or
kids literally
crying.
are obviously in pain, but they don't know how to say like my mama ain't shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like join the club. You know what I mean? My black mama ain't shit. Ooh, what a bombshell. But it's just it's just it's just wild to watch. And Will is looking like a man who doesn't have his house in order. Period. I was watching Billions. I don't know if you guys know this show. It's called
I
Billions.
like
But anyway, I'm gonna
billions. I
skip
like
it.
billions.
Well, last night I'm watching it. This last season, and they had some shit on Pence. Mike Pence is running to be president, and he said, "Look, you're not gonna do this shit because we got some shit on you. The shit that they got on him was that him and his wife are in a poly situation. And he's like, we're going to make the world know that your fucking wife fucks other dudes and nobody's going to vote for President Cup, which is the fucking truth. No matter how open of a mind you might have and so on and so forth or whatever, at the end of the day, our primal instincts, especially when we're talking about leadership, we see masculinity as stern, authoritative, strong, ready to kill everybody in this motherfucker at any given moment. We don't see mercy. We don't see understanding. We don't see all those things. We might say we want those things, but we don't see those things when it's time to step up. We see a motherfucker that's ready to slap everybody in the fucking room and tell them to shut the fuck up. This is why Will is losing.
Got here.
Right. I was thinking Trump too when he was talking.
Exactly how we got there. So Will, he's looking like the guy that's just standing around looking like a bitch while his wife is just saying whatever. His kids is jumping around like fucking cartoon characters, looking weirder and weirder. It's just you're not looking like a man.
Not the kids, though.
Fucking man.
A lot of kids are weird today.
Yeah.
I don't care what she has on you, bro. It can't be this bad.
Right, because that's what I've been thinking. So I'm like, what could she possibly, because that's the only thing I'm coming down to at this point. I'm like, what could she possibly have over this man's, like this man that is keeping him silent or was letting her know that, like, I mean, she obviously know that she can do this and get away with it.
Like, I mean,
and she's very confident about it. She's confidently talking about Tupac in them interviews, confidently saying he ain't shit, confidently saying he's not good in bed, confidently. I think she dropped another bombshell about the sex wasn't good with him. It's like, constantly tearing him down. He's like, do, 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 do. She even said that in an interview when she was very, very young. When Keenan had that talk show, Keenan Ivory Wayans. And he was like, what did you think about Will Smith? She was like, well, I thought he was like, do, 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 do. And then I got to know him. And, and then Keenan was like, is he romantic? And she was like, yeah, like he filled my trailer full of 100,000 roses. And I had so many roses that they had to move my trailer into, and she's like, this motherfucker's a huge resource. So I'm going to stick to it. But her initial thought was, I thought he was do, 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 do. That's what her initial thought was.
Like we all did.
Right. See, now, no man wants to hear this shit. Like, if she says, like, your initial thought is like, and then she gets with the motherfucker and the sex is bad. No man wants to hear that. Like, you could say, oh, he was a valiant man. He was honorable. He was decent. He took care of the children. Every bill was paid on time. But God, he was terrible in bed. No matter what you did, that was amazing. If you're whack in bed, women are not going to respect you. I don't give a fuck what they say. You could say that motherfucker was horrible. He said some terrible things. He crashed a car one time when we were in it. I caught him in a drunken stupor. He fucked my sister. But damn, that dick was amazing. Chicks would have been like, I've been there, girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you as a man is not compromised. It sounds sick,
but no, you know what's funny? Because I know somebody who just had the worst relationship ever, right? So I'm thinking, like, throughout all this time, like, well, child, I know she's standing around because obviously he got some good dick, right? And then one day she's like, and he don't even got no good dick. Then I'm looking at her like, well, hold the fuck up. Now I'm looking at you. Like, what is wrong with you? All these years, like.
Now look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. They both said this in agreement right here. They both said this in agreement, like, wait a minute, if you're going through all that shit and the dick is terrible, why are you around? Listen to that. Listen to women when they speak, man.
No dick and no resources?
Right.
Like, listen to women when they speak. Like, a lot of relationships go way past their expiration date. If you smashing it down, man, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says.
Been there, done that.
Past the expiration date if that dick is killing them. Whatever,
but they expire though. They eventually expire.
Well, they expire.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. We got 40 people in the room. Really quickly, please check out my community section. Lily and I have started a new sister podcast to On the Block with Jenna. It's called Sisterhood Sips. We did 4 episodes already. We will be dropping them next week. We're trying to get to 500 subs. Okay, we're almost there. We're at 400 and something, right, Lily?
Yeah, it's
Also,
like
I'm trying to.
10, 12, 412.
Nice. And I'm trying to get on the block with Jen to 5K before this January coming up. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Please follow Sisterhood Sips. Let me take this banner down so you can see who we are and you can follow us as well. Do not forget, if you want to support the show, Cash App on the block with Jen. If you're catching a replay, we had to be short today because we got lots and lots of things to do. But that is who we are. The names on the board. Please follow us individually so you can keep up because we don't know who's dropping what. But please, pongoho, if you're on our Instagrams and you check our community sections, you will see what is coming up in real time. So don't go slide in my DMs. Talk about Jen. When did you say that was going to drop? You guys also know I interviewed Big Daddy Kane. That's also coming. So we got a lot of juicy stuff coming up next week, but you got to stay tuned. Lily, tell them your last Lily's lessons. It's right on subject. Let them know what it's about. I think it was very
Well,
interesting.
yeah. Well, I use being bald as the example, but it was about me coming to grips with unconventional beauty. Because growing up, I wasn't the that's what's funny. Most models, most professional models, all of our story is that we were teased for our looks, or for something, the things that actually got us on is what we were teased for younger.
Right,
So it was about like coming to grips with having an unconventional beauty and how I dealt with that and where that's land me at. And then I also gave some bald tips because that's like a number one question I get. Like,
right.
how do I keep my bald head smooth and even tone and things like that? So I gave some tips on that. And one of those tips is I make my own mask and scrub. So I had it on the market for a while, but I stopped selling it. But I'm always willing to sell it if somebody wants some. So just hit me up if you do.
Okay, so make sure you check out Lily at YB Limited on YouTube and Instagram. Don't forget, Haran DeMarco is our resident musician. You can see him playing guitar over on his YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Leave your comments, leave your likes, leave your subscribe. That is how we eat here, and we eat better if you Cash App on the block with Jen. Thank you so much. Check out my Instagram. I loaded a lot of stuff on there. Overnight, I went to the Babyface concert and I lost my damn mind because I love Mr. Babyface. Okay, so go check that out. Good night. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. This has been On the Block with Jen. Good night, guys.
Night.
Hit that like and subscribe on your way out for mama. And thank you for joining your favorite Butter Pecan Rican. Good night, guys.